عطوفة مهندس تحيات أمين عام وزارة المياه والري، عطوفة الأستاذ الدكتور أحمد مجدوبة نائب رئيس الجامعة الأردنية، مع أصحاب المعالي والعطوفة والسعادة، أسعد الله صباحكم. لأن أنا كنت بدي أحكي شوي باللغة الإنجليزية، بس أنا ممكن إذا if you allow me maybe to speak in Arabic and then maybe I can give a brief in English. يعني إحنا اليوم صراحة سعداء جدا برعاية معالي وزير الطاقة والثروة المعدنية لهذه الورشة الإقليمية الهامة المتعلقة في الانرجي ترانزيشنز، واللي هي إنه تحول الطاقة والانتقال من الطاقة التقليدية إلى الطاقة المتجددة. طبعا سعداء بالشراكة مع تنظيم هذا المؤتمر مع وكالة الماء الألمانية GIZ، وشاكرين الدعم اللي قدمته GIZ لتنظيم هذه الورشة الإقليمية، وكذلك إنه سعداء بالتعاون مع معهد أياسا النمساوي، جامعة فلنسبورغ الألمانية، بوبرتال انستيتيوت كذلك في ألمانيا، بالإضافة طبعا لبون سنتر طبعا اللي هو مركز بون للدراسات في ألمانيا. طبعا وكان هذا طبعا خلال اليومين اللي احنا راح نكون فيهم راح يتم عرض لنتائج اللي هو السوشيو ايكونومكس امباكت والرينيوبل انرجي والاذر انرجي صراحه سيكتورز. طبعا احنا كنا سعداء بالجامعه الاردنيه انه نكون جزء وطرف من هذا المشروع اللي هو طبعا اخذ مختلف اراء الستيك هولدرز، وكانت فعلا بالنسبه لنا للمره الاولى انه نتعامل انه مع قطاعات مختلفه مع ستيك هولدرز، انه يعني خاصه ما توجهنا للاكاديميين او للديسيجن ميكرز، لا كان عندنا منظمات المجتمع المحلي، كان عندنا اليونج ليدرز، الفاينانس، الديسيجنز ميكرز، الاكاديميا، فمختلف اطياف خلينا نحكي المجتمع، وتم اخذ ارائهم في موضوع الانرجي ترانزيشنز وافضل التكنولوجيات اللي ممكن تستخدم لتوليد الكهرباء لسنه 2050. طبعا احنا سعداء بشكل كبير جدا انه بحضور مختلف شركات الكهرباء الاردنيه، سواء نحكي شركات التوليد او التوزيع او النقل لهذا المؤتمر، وكذلك انه يعني برز عندنا في الاونه الاخيره موضوع الانرجي الووتر انرجي نكسس، يعني موضوع انه الطاقه للمياه والمياه للطاقه، خاصه احنا في المملكه الاردنيه الهاشميه بنعاني من موضوع شح المياه، بالاضافه طبعا لموضوع شح الطاقه، والترابط بيناتهم بصراحه انه امر كثير مهم، خاصه انه ممكن احنا اليوم راح نسمع بجزء من عطوفه امين عام وزاره المياه انه موضوع انه الووتر which is needed، يعني الانرجي which is needed for water productions, desalinations, water pumping. نعرف انه حوالي 15% من الكهرباء عندنا تروح لضخ المياه في المملكه الاردنيه الهاشميه. فان شاء الله يعني احنا خلال اليومين القادمين اليوم وغدا انه راح يكون انه يعني في ديالوج انه لمختلف او خلينا نحكي نقاش بين مختلف الاطياف، بحيث انه نقدر نطلع في بعض التوصيات اللي ممكن فعلا يتم انه تبنيها من اصحاب الاختصاص من الوزارات والمؤسسات المختلفه. انا حابب يعني اشكر بصراحه حضوركم جميعا، اشكر معالي وزيره الطاقه المهندسه هالة زواتي على رعايتها لهذا المؤتمر، ونشكر كذلك انه عطوفه امين عام وزاره المياه الاستاذ الدكتور نائب رئيس الجامعه الاردنيه، ممثل الاستاذ الدكتور رئيس الجامعه. نشكر جميع الاخوه الحضور، ونشكر كذلك انه GIZ بصراحه على دعمهم لهذا المؤتمر، وكذلك على مشروع مينا سيلكتس. At the end, maybe brief in a few words in English, would like to thank especially our guests who came from Germany, from Austria, from Switzerland, from Morocco, from Tunisia, to be with us today in this important conference about energy transition. Especially we have also some specialty between like Jordan, Morocco and Tunisia in the field of water and energy, and I am sure that during this 2 days conference we'll have a productive results which will help our also decision makers in making energy planning which will be suitable for our countries for the next few years. I wish to you all best and a fruitful conference and fruitful discussions. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran.
Thank you very much, Professor Salemi, for your kind introduction. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention and for your participation. It's a great pleasure for us. Excellencies, thank you very much for your interest. Also, I would like to thank you from my heart, our guests who came from far away. I know it was exhausting travel for many of them, but thank you that you came and supported our event. Please let me, following the talk of Professor Salemi, tell a couple of words about MENA-Select project, which was supported by the German Ministry of International Cooperation and involves several partners. The title of the project is MENA-Select. Select, that means that we have a choice. So we have a choice among several options. We have an opportunity for a compromise between these choices. Compromise, not consensus, I would like to put forward this word. And please let me tell how we started with this project. When we started with this, there was a study which reviewed all existing research in the area of energy. And this study showed that only 3% of all existing research really dealing with human factors. So what these human factors are, it's our aspirations, it's our will to do something, it's acceptance, it's something which, following the Renaissance philosophy, putting the person, the human being, in the middle of this complex energy system. And this is how the idea of our project was born. We thought, what would be if we open these energy models, for example? The energy models, which are black boxes producing scenarios, if we open them to the discussion together with stakeholders, if we involve stakeholders into the modeling development, if we bring stakeholders together in a participatory dialogue, and if we apply scientific tools to understand their positions, to understand their views, and to try to use this dialogue to bring a compromise solution. And this is how the project appeared, and it was going on for 4 years. It was a successful cooperation among several partners. So we have here the University of Flensburg, and I think Sönke will say a couple of words about the institute, the Wuppertal Institute. We also have partners, big International Center for Conversion, which is located in Bonn. German Watch is also with us. We have representatives from the countries, so we had 3 countries in this project, which is Jordan, and Professor Salemi, University of Jordan, was our main partner. It's a MENA-RES father from Morocco, and there are also a number of partners from Tunisia. Here we would be happy to present you with our final results. And yeah, finally, please let me also tell about my organization. It's International Institute of Applied Systems Analysis. We are supported by 24 national countries through academies of sciences, and we deal with complex questions like energy security, water security, and food security. Finally, please let me wish you interesting discussions here, successful workshops, a lot of opportunities for interactions, for networkings, but also for exchange of opinions and opportunities for a compromise solution on the contest issues. Thank you very much.
هلا في عنا الدكتور سونكي from University of Flensburg brief يعني ممكن نحكي لنا عن
Welcome, good morning everyone. I'd like to introduce myself briefly. My name is Sönke Bohm from Europa-Universität Flensburg. Flensburg is a city in the very north of Germany, actually directly on the border to Denmark. We're part of the Center for Sustainable Energy Systems, which is a combination of both universities in Flensburg dealing with issues in the field of energy research. Our particular field of research has 2 focuses. One is focusing on energy system modeling, which we applied in this research work as well. The other one is that colleagues of mine, they produce or they work on climate protection schemes, and we're dealing with the local, with the regional, the national, and also the international level. Yeah, our part in the Manna Select project, and we're going to get to this today and tomorrow, has been the creation, the development of energy scenarios for the three countries of Jordan, Morocco, and Tunisia. This has been one part of this project, and we've done this in workshops. We've heard this before, in a participatory manner. That means we got inputs from all kinds of stakeholder groups, which was very fruitful, and we had good discussions, and I think some good results as well. And the other part of ours in this project was that we provide our open source energy system model called RenPass to everyone who's interested in having this. But we're going to get to this back later on, I guess. I wish you all a fruitful discussion here and a successful workshop. Thank you.
يعني احنا معنا بوبرتال انستيتيوت، برضه نرحب معالي المهندس مالك الكبريت ونشكره حضور اليوم معنا. بوبرتال انستيتيوت اللي اشتغلنا كثير معهم في دراسات الاثر الاجتماعي والاقتصادي لمشاريع الطاقه، السوشيال ايكونومكس امباكتس، وخاصه نحن بنحكي عاده كمهندسين وكفنيين كنا كثير دائما نركز على الجانب الفني ونترك الجانب الاجتماعي والاقتصادي اللي بعد هيك شفنا فعلا من اهم جزء العوامل اللي لازم تكون انه متاخذه بعين الاعتبار. وممكن هلا معنا الدكتوره كريستينا من بوبرتال انستيتيوت بريف، برضه انه احد الشركاء معنا في هذا المشروع.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Also, a warm welcome from my side. Let me just shortly introduce Wuppertal Institute, where I come from. This is a research institute working on sustainability issues in a broad range of methods that we apply there, in a broad range of cases in which we look at the sustainability of things. I myself come from a research group called Future Energy Systems, and in that research group or division, we deal with many different parts of sustainable energy futures. For this context in our project, the role of the Wuppertal Institute was to find out which of the scenarios that the colleagues from Flensburg developed would be the scenario that people in the countries would prefer most. And to do that, we applied a multi-criteria analysis, meaning that we try to figure out which are the criteria that matter in judging these different energy scenario futures, and then in a participatory approach, weighted these criteria to come to a ranking of scenarios. But I will go into that in more detail in the afternoon. So just a short welcome from my side. Happy to see you all here and looking forward to this day. Thank you.
هلا رح يكون معنا عطوفة الأستاذ الدكتور أحمد مجدودة، نائب رئيس الجامعة الأردنية، وبالنيابة عن الأستاذ الدكتور رئيس الجامعة لإلقاء كلمة الجامعة الأردنية اللي هي طبعا المنظمة لهذا المؤتمر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Your Excellency, Engineer Hala Zawati, Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources, patron of the conference, Your Excellencies, honorable guests, partners, and workshop participants. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, allow me first of all to convey to you the greetings of our President, Professor Abdulkarim Iftar, who wanted so much to be with us this morning, but was unable to do so, and who wishes this timely gathering the best of luck in achieving its objectives, and who lends all of his and UJ's support to the project. We welcome our guests from abroad and hope they will spend quality time in the country at this most noted and unique historic and touristic site, and naturally at the workshop. Obviously, I cannot talk to you about water and energy, but I can say a few things about the University of Jordan. For those who are unfamiliar with the University of Jordan, I would like to state a number of quick facts and figures which may be of interest. The University of Jordan, the first in the country, was founded in 1962. Since then, it has grown to become Jordan's largest. We have about 44,000 students, 1,600 faculty members, and the biggest and most diverse graduate programs. And it is also the leading higher education institution in pedagogy, research, and innovation. And it is at present advancing steadily in global standing. It offers a wide range of academic programs for students who can choose from more than 253 programs in 25 schools. It is a comprehensive university paying attention to the sciences and the humanities. The number of its graduates in the various disciplines has exceeded 200,000 graduates, many of whom have occupied and are occupying key positions in the country, the region, and beyond. But they all have made and are making a great impact within their spheres of influence, and it is with pride that we note UJ's employment reputation to rank 251 worldwide, according to the QS World Universities ranking of 2019. Many of its specializations, medicine, pharmacy, nursing, engineering, foreign languages, and others, are also highly rated. UJ was the first in the country, and perhaps in the region, to establish an international office, and that was in 1999, at the time when Europe launched the Bologna process, and since then, the office has connected us to the globe in very meaningful and effective ways, engaging actively in a variety of cooperation projects and operations with both Western and Eastern partners. We are extremely active in mobility of students. For instance, we have the largest number of European students who come to study on our campus, and we are sending the largest number of students to study at European universities on an exchange basis. We are also active in terms of staff and faculty mobility as well. We are sending the largest numbers of professors who teach short modules at European universities through the Erasmus Plus scheme. We are active in capacity building, in scientific research, and in blended learning. The latter, in fact, is one of our strongest recent initiatives. Through the office and through many of our dedicated and active faculty members, we have forged and formed successful partnerships and networks via Campus, Erasmus Plus, and other bilateral and multilateral cooperation schemes. As far as UJ is concerned, we are open to all forms of fruitful relations and partnerships, but we are especially keen to network with like-minded institutions for the purpose of offering solutions to key challenges in the many spheres, among which are clearly two of the most pressing, water and energy. Which brings us to the subject of this workshop, the Middle East North Africa Sustainable Electricity Trajectories MENA Select project. To be sure, we will leave discussion of the content to the experts in the field. Suffice it to underscore the fact, however, that UJ pins high hopes on this project, providing energy solutions and guiding us in our journey of pursuit of both implementable and sustainable concrete recommendations. As we promise to be caring as well as active partners, not just with respect to this project and workshop and their current and follow-up activities, but also we promise to be active with respect, hopefully, to other future projects and workshops. On behalf of the UJ community, we thank all the organizers, supporters, and participants who made this project both possible and successful, and wish everybody best of luck in your important two-day deliberations, and hope to welcome you and be with you in future projects. Thank you all, and God bless your efforts.
نشكر عطوفة الأستاذ الدكتور أحمد مجدوبي طبعا على دعم الجامعة الأردنية للتعاون الدولي وللمشاريع الإقليمية والدولية والمحلية. الآن عطوفة المهندس حياد أمين سلطة المياه. He will give His Excellency Engineer Hayat a welcome speech in addition to the presentation about energy challenges in the water sector. So please, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. First of all, allow me to thank you for the kind invitation that has been submitted to the Ministry of Water and the Water Authority of Jordan to participate in this very important workshop, which hopefully we would be able to come out with very clear recommendations, at least on the water energy nexus and how to strengthen it and roll it out forward for further implementation, coordination, for the benefit, of course, of the country, and eventually having a different perspective and outlook for the water sector needs and requirements in order to be able to sustain the service which we are currently providing to consumers, and considering also that the water sector is an energy-intensive sector where 50 or 60% of our costs are basically from energy. So in my presentation, hopefully I will shed the light on the different challenges that the water sector is facing, and when it comes to the energy challenge, how we perceive it and how we basically try to find solutions in coordination with the Ministry of Energy in order, again, to reduce our costs and to be able to improve and develop further projects for the sustainability of the country. So a quick outline of what I will touch on, hopefully, in the presentation. So we will give a background about the water sector and the challenges that basically are facing it, and the energy usage and the consumption and costs of the sector that has basically progressed over the years. And we will talk more about renewable energies and energy efficiency initiatives in the water sector and the future scenarios that we have prepared in that respect. So just to have an understanding of the structure of the water sector, basically the water sector is composed of multi-agencies. We have the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, where it's responsible for strategy and policies of the sector, and develops further the capital investment needs and sources financing from different financing sources. We have the Water Authority of Jordan, which is constituted by law and which is responsible for the delivery service, basically water, wastewater services delivery to consumers, and manages and owns the groundwater sources throughout the kingdom, and is responsible also for the wastewater treatment and reuse throughout the kingdom. So it has a very wide and diverse set of responsibilities as outlined in its law. And the Water Authority provides its service currently through basically its offices in the governorates or through Miyahuna Water Company in the case of Amman, Madaba and Zarqa, Yarmouk Water Company when it comes to the 4 northern governorates, and Aqaba Water Company in the Aqaba Special Economic Zone. They are owned by WAJ, and WAJ is owning the assets and responsible for the major investments. And we have, of course, in the water sector, the Jordan Valley Authority, which is responsible for irrigation in the Jordan Valley and basically operates all the different water dams throughout the kingdom. So basically looking at the energy consumption, we talk about more or less 1,700 gigawatt hours per year. This is our annual consumption of electricity from the grid through the different water sector institutions and agencies. So the challenges of the water sector, as all of us know, basically are the water scarcity. Throughout the years, basically, we have been over-abstracting our water resources through ground sources, which are the main sources of water for different purposes, except for irrigation, of course, in the Jordan Valley. And we have over-abstracted over the years in order to be able to meet with the demand and the influx of refugees throughout the years since the independence of the country. There's a big gap between the demand and supply. We always have like a deficit of around 300 million cubic meters per year of resources, which we are trying to always cover from adopting rationing systems to sourcing unconventional sources of water throughout the kingdom. And last but not least, we are thinking of water desalination for the future in order to be able to meet this basically acute demand and supply challenge. Of course, we have high energy costs. We roughly consume around 14% of the national electricity kingdom-wide, and we pay 200 to 220 million JDs per year in our annual electricity costs and charges, which is putting a very big financial burden on the water sector, and is basically necessitating that we divert more attention to payment of electricity rather than to develop future sources due to the acute shortage of funds provided by the central government. Of course, also the water sector is highly subsidized by the government. It's basically people don't pay the actual cost of people, or consumers don't pay the actual cost of water. It's highly subsidized, and some slides will show how much subsidized we are. And of course, we have suffered over the years from unexpected influxes of refugees. So as I said, basically, the electricity, the water sector is the largest single consumer of electricity generated kingdom-wide with 14%. And specific energy consumption is around 7.5 kilowatt hours per meter cube of water built for the Water Authority of Jordan, which is basically covering municipal water and wastewater usages. And the specific energy consumption for the Jordan Valley is around 2.274 kilowatt hours per meter cube, which is basically used for irrigation and industrial activities in the Jordan Valley. So the electricity bill for 2017 was roughly 161 million Jordanian dinars, based on the 94 fils per kilowatt hour price, which we paid until that time. And this constituted roughly 43-44% of our operational and maintenance costs and expenses. And the expected energy costs in 2019 will form around 64% of our operation and maintenance costs due to the increase of the electricity prices effective July 2018 and the application of fuel price difference on the water sector. So currently we're paying, I think, 133 fils, not 140 fils per kilowatt hour. So this basically table shows the progression of energy consumption and the electricity tariff over the years. Of course, we are consuming more over the years because more projects, more treatment plants, more water wells have been drilled and put into operation in order to meet the demand, and of course the increasing industrialization process of the country. The electricity tariff since 2010 has progressed or increased from 42 fils per kilowatt hour to 2017 to 94 fils per kilowatt hour. And the total bill that we pay for the different electricity distribution providers has increased from 53 million JDs to 161 million JDs per year. So the increase in the electricity tariff has been basically increasing steadily over the years and constitutes high percentages as shown. Again, the water and energy costs progression. The billed amount of water has increased by 14% over the years, the last 7 years, and the supplied water has been increasing also steadily due to the commissioning of new water resources. And electricity consumption has increased by the same pattern or by the same pattern of the development of the different supplies. However, the electricity tariff has increased by 124% since 2010, which is basically does not relieve us from financial burdens. It has basically increased our financial burdens. And of course, the electricity costs have increased, as I mentioned in my previous slides, and the energy costs. And this increased the total cost of water from 1.29 to around 2.37 JDs per cubic meter supplied. So in order to be able to mitigate for the increased energy prices, we have developed in collaboration with the stakeholders back in 2015, 2016, an energy efficiency and renewable energy policy, which basically touches on very important pillars, which is more or less applying more efficient pumps into the different major pump stations throughout the kingdom in order to reduce the energy consumption, and in coordination and collaboration with the Ministry of Energy to introduce more renewable energy projects into the water sector to mitigate for the price increase of electricity in the water sector and protect the service delivery. So the policy targets which have been included up to the year 2025 is to reduce energy consumption by 15% and to increase the share of renewable energy in the energy mix, or providing the water sector to around 10%. And through this policy, we have prioritized investments and projects that we really need to implement in accordance with the different energy sector regulations. So we have currently ongoing projects, again approved by the Ministry of Energy and approved by the government of Jordan. We have the first solar farm in Untitled. It's a 50 megawatt build operated transfer that was based on round 2 projects according to the Ministry of Energy's rules and regulations. And the annual savings of the project would be roughly around 15 million JDs per year. Currently, we're in the financial stages of financially closing the project and signing the different project agreements. In addition to that, we have received financing from the European Commission, a grant of 30 million euros. We're implementing a 24 megawatt plant in DC and a 6 megawatt of grid solution at one of our major treatment plants at Zara Ma'in. And these projects would be able to save us roughly around 7 million JDs per year after commissioning and implementation. In addition, the Ministry of Energy has allocated 2 very important project proceeds for the benefit of the water sector. These are 2 projects which were constructed with financing of the Kuwaiti and the Abu Dhabi funds. A wind farm in Imran, a 103 megawatt Imran wind farm, and an 80 megawatt solar farm at Guwera. So the government and in collaboration with the Ministry of Energy has dedicated the proceeds of these 2 projects, 17 million JDs per year, for the benefit of the water sector to alleviate for the increase in the energy prices. In addition to that, we have done some hydropowers and biogas projects in the major treatment plants, and it will continue hopefully over the next couple of months and years. So we have different locations, different projects in the pipeline that hopefully we can finance and coordinate in implementation with the Ministry of Energy and the relevant institutions. Again, we have developed different scenarios for increasing the energy mix from renewable sources. We have the 10% scenario, the 25% scenario, and the 50% scenario. And all of these scenarios have different savings based on what could be applied by the water sector and in collaboration with the different sectors. So thank you very much for your attention. This is in a nutshell where we stand in the water sector, and we really look forward for the next steps and collaboration during this workshop and others. Thank you.
I'd like to thank His Excellency, Engineer Hayat, and I think that all of us heard about the challenges of, that the water sector that faces from the energy and maybe the tariff, and I think that this workshop and this conference will give us an opportunity to have more dialogue and discussions about the interactions between water and energy and how these two important sectors can cooperate together. Now I welcome with me to Her Excellency Engineer Hala Zawati, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources and the patron of this conference. She will give us like a welcome speech and also a presentations, a keynote speech about the energy transition. I think that all of us heard also yesterday about the decision of the cabinet, and I think that maybe more information about this decision we will hear today from also Her Excellency Engineer Zawati. So please, Your Excellency.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Sabah al-Khair. I've been told that English is the language of the conference, and that's why, excuse me for speaking in English, but I will try to make some Arabic remarks whenever I see it's very important to convey some of the messages or some of the information that needs to be conveyed, especially the remark that Dr. Salaime spoke about. I'm really delighted to be with you all here today at the MENA Select Conference. A very warm welcome to all of you who are participating today, whether from Jordan or coming from abroad. Allow me to start by expressing the importance of the MENA Select project in highlighting the socio-economic impacts, risks, and opportunities of different electricity scenarios and power production technologies in the MENA region. As this project allows us all to examine the benefits and utilize lessons learned and avoid any political risks. I would like at the beginning to thank BMZ, BICC, German Watch, IASA, I hope I pronounced it well, the Wuppertal Institute, the University of Flensburg, and the University of Jordan for their close cooperation in executing this project and for holding this final conference to present their findings. Well, it's always a pleasure to be in such conferences because these professional settings are integral for the exchange of ideas, the spread of knowledge, identification of potential opportunities, and the enrichment of mutual cooperation. With that being said, allow me to take you through the current energy challenge we face in Jordan. Jordanians all know that we're facing challenges in the energy sector, because Jordan today depends highly on imported energy, whereby 94% of the energy was imported in the year 2017, with a total cost of 2.43 billion JDs. This alone is equivalent to around 8.5% of our GDP, and this is a very high percentage. But it's even much better than our 2014 and 2013 values and percentages. This creates a huge burden on the economy and exposes Jordan to future price hike risks. At that time, our local production share of the total energy requirements was 6%, produced mainly through renewable energy, and oil and gas generation has been almost negligible. So we produce gas, but in very small amounts. All these challenges spark the need to create different opportunities, and we can proudly say that we have created a success story in renewable energy, and new opportunities are on the horizon. Specifically through oil shale usage, storage, and of electricity, and more. With that being said, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, with the help of all relevant stakeholders, are currently working on updating the energy strategy of Jordan for 2030, and I'm happy to see many faces who are working on the updating of our strategy, participating with us in this room. We aim to release this strategy in the second half of 2019. In the meanwhile, allow me to share with you our short to medium-term objectives of this strategy. And before I do that, I would like to switch to Arabic in order to address the point Dr. Salaime talked about, and that's the cabinet decision regarding energy projects. قرار اللي محطوط في الجريدة اليوم والطريقة اللي محطوطة فيها في الجريدة هي يعني أعطت زي ما تقولوا صدر البيت وليس عجزه. إيقاف الاستثمار في مشاريع توليد الكهرباء لحين الانتهاء من استراتيجية قطاع الطاقة، وهي في منتصف عام 2019، ولحين الانتهاء من الخطة الشاملة لشركة الكهرباء الوطنية. إيش بيعني هذا الحكي؟ هذا الحكي بيعني إنه إحنا اليوم بصدد استراتيجية بتحط من هون لل 2030 الاحتياجات الأردن من الطاقة ومن جميع مصادرها. لن نقبل إنها توقف مشاريع الطاقة المتجددة، مش باستراتيجيتنا ومش من أهدافنا. واستراتيجيتنا هلأ لما رح نحكي عنها رح تشوفوا إنها هي مبنية على الطاقة المحلية المولدة في الأردن، مبنية على الاعتماد على الذات، مبنية على أمن الطاقة، وكل هذه الأمور مبنية على تخفيض كلف الطاقة. كل هذه الأمور بتقولنا إنه لازم إنه يكون في عنا أكثر من الطاقة المتجددة، لكن طاقة متجددة بدون تخطيط واضح، بدون معرفة واضحة للأماكن اللي ممكن إن ناخذ منها طاقة متجددة، وأن تبقى العشوائية في أخذ طاقة متجددة من هون ومن هون وتأثر علينا بطريقة سلبية بدل ما تأثر علينا بطريقة إيجابية. فهذا الحكي هو اللي إحنا وقفناه وقلنا خلال ال6 شهور القادمة بإذن الله بيكون في عنا خطة شاملة واضحة للاستطاعات التي يحتاجها الأردن ومتى يحتاجها الأردن. قد نحتاج استطاعات في 2019 بال20 21 25 29 استراتيجية لل2030 رح تحدد لنا ايش احتياجاتنا وكم منها نستطيع ان ناخذ من الطاقة المتجددة. ولكي نستطيع ان ناخذ هذه الكميات من الطاقة المتجددة علينا تعزيز الشبكة، الربط الكهربائي مع الدول، تعزيز مواضيع التخزين، كل هذا الحكي. فهو برجع بقول لكم اللي انحكى هو صدر البيت وليس عجزه، وبالتالي هي فهمت بطريقة خاطئة. وأنا بعرف العديد منكم اللي بيحاول إنه يطلب استطاعات من الطاقة المتجددة ويتم رفض هذه المشاريع، لأنه ممكن المناطق اللي عم تيجوا فيها ما بتحتاج الشبكة فيها من الطاقة المتجددة، ولكي نكون عادلين لكل المستخدمين اللي عم بيطلبوا الطاقة المتجددة، سنحدد مناطق معينة نستطيع أخذ الطاقة المتجددة فيها، وسنحدد أراضي حكومية لتأجيرها لهذه المشاريع عشان نساعدكم، بعكس ما يقال وما يشار إليه بأن إحنا بدنا نوقف الطاقة المتجددة. الطاقة المتجددة واحدة من أهم أنواع الطاقة اللي الأردن اليوم بيعتمد عليها وسيبقى يعتمد عليها، وبدنا نزيد أكثر وأكثر. بس بحب أقول لكم إنه اليوم الاستطاعات اللي الأردن يعني committed إلها وموقع عليها، رح نوصل بال2020 ل 2350 ميجا وات من الطاقة المتجددة. إحنا ما بدنا نوصل لهناك وبعدين نحس إنه صار في عنا مشاكل فنية على شبكتنا. إحنا عم نوقف شوي، بنقول خلينا نشوف فنياً ماذا نستطيع أن نستوعب، أين نستطيع أن نستوعب، وكيف سنستوعب. كيف؟ تخزين زيادة، الربط مع الشبكات الثانية. أنا راجعة من العراق امبارح، واحد من أهم المشاريع اللي بنحكي فيها هو الربط الكهربائي ما بين الأردن والعراق. إذا ربطنا هذا الربط فنحن رح نقدر نستوعب المزيد من الطاقة المتجددة. أيضاً من المهم معرفته إنه إحنا هذا القرار ما صاب المشاريع اللي تحت ال1 ميجا، تستمر مشاريع تحت ال1 ميجا ويستمر المستخدمين في طلباتهم للنت ميترينج وللويلينج، وعلى أن نقوم بإعادة الآلية، إعادة النظر بالآلية مع القطاع الخاص عشان نوقف أي شكاوي من القطاع الخاص، جاري قبلوا له وأنا ما قبلوا لي. فهو اللي بفهم القرار مضبوط بفهم إنه هو في الصالح العام 100%. فهذا بالنسبة لقرارنا، وأتمنى إني سلطت الضوء عليه. بالنسبة لاستراتيجيتنا، and let me switch back to English. Our strategy focuses on 4 main pillars. These are, and I've just mentioned them when I spoke in Arabic. I said energy security is very important for Jordan. Dependence on one single resource is not energy security. And when we talk about electricity today, we're saying that 90% of the electricity generated in Jordan depends on one single resource coming from one single place, and that's the LNG from Aqaba. Now, maybe I shouldn't have said now, maybe last year, because starting beginning of this year, we're diversifying that resource, and now we're having natural gas from Egypt as well. So energy security is the first pillar. The second pillar is energy independence, and when we talk about energy independence, we're talking about indigenous energy. Diversification of resources, which is, we will see how we are intending to do that, and reducing the energy costs. We've just heard the water sector complaining about the electricity prices, and I'm sure every single one of you in this room is complaining about the electricity prices. So one of the main pillars in our energy strategy moving forward is reducing the cost of energy. This is how it will look like in the electricity sector. In 2018, we've closed last year with 10% of our electricity being generated from renewable resources, 90% from gas. And the gas source at the beginning of the year was mainly LNG coming from Aqaba. We consumed around 330 million cubic foot per day, and all was imported. In 2019, we expect things to be different. We're expecting to close 2019 with 16% coming from renewables and 84% coming from gas. I'm sorry, but the slide has a slight problem because it doesn't show all the orange side. The natural gas in 2019 will half be LNG and half be natural gas. And this is the first diversification we've included or introduced, and the 16% is another diversification. Now look at our pillars. We said energy security, diversification, independence, and hopefully reducing the cost. Now, our move in 2019 tries to do all that. When we say natural gas from Egypt, it's to reduce the cost. It's to diversify the resources and more energy security, and the 16% renewable energy serves the same purpose as well. In 2020, even more renewable energy will be feeding our grid, and as I told you, we expect 2,350 megawatts of renewable energy in 2020. 11% will come from oil shale, direct burning of oil shale, and 67% will be coming from gas, natural gas. I'm so sorry, I don't know what happened to the presentation. When I saw it last, it was fine. What's happening, I don't know. The format is different. It's okay, as long as the content is preserved, so no problem. So this is how we aim to diversify our resources for electricity generation, moving towards 2020. Yeah, good. It's not right as well. This shows you what will happen to renewable energy moving forward. Today, as we speak, there is 1,134 megawatts of renewable energy feeding our grid. Some of them are what we call net metering projects, some of them are wheeling projects, and others are the projects through direct proposals which the ministry executed or during the past years. As you can see, there are always complaints that there are not enough net metering and wheeling projects. If you look at the left side, left bottom side, we have around 360 megawatts of solar systems mainly, and these are net metering and wheeling projects. And for those who, I always try to tell people that a 1 mega is almost filling 15 dunams of solar panels. So when we say 360 megawatt, that's a lot. That's only for net metering and wheeling, and when it comes to the other projects, there are 770 megawatts. The total is 1,134. In 2019, we're expecting more, and 2020. There are under construction today 930 megawatts, under financial close 50 megawatt, and in the pipeline, moving forward, you know, the third phase of renewable energy is around 200 megawatt. This will make us reach 2020 with 2,350 megawatts of renewable energy, and for a grid like Jordan's grid and required capacity, that's quite good so far. Now, We're also looking into the feasibility of pump storage and battery storage in general. To be able to install it, and especially pump storage on dams. Of course, this will be in cooperation with the Ministry of Water and Irrigation. This will help us in preserving the electricity grid stability and store energy. We're currently studying the feasibility of these projects on Al Mujib, King Talal Dam and Wadi Al Arab Dam, and will be ready by mid of this year to request expressions of interest, inshallah. These are really important projects for us. In addition, work has commenced to increase the electricity grid. And this is very important. You've all heard of the Green Corridor. Moving forward, His Excellency Malik Kabariti is here. At his time, the talk about the Green Corridor started, and hopefully, beginning of 2020, it will be finalized. And we're also talking today about the Eastern Corridor. And you've heard me saying we're going to be connecting to Iraq. And this is a major step. Whether to supply electricity to Iraq, or because we want to be able to incorporate more renewable energy on that path. Both Green Corridor Project and the Eastern Corridor Project act as our flagship grid enhancement projects in this area. With regards to connectivity, we're connected today to Egypt, and we're connected to Syria and to Lebanon, to Palestine. Our moving forward with connectivity. I'm so sorry, the presentation doesn't look good, but the underlying thing is good. We will be connecting to Iraq, and we will be connecting to Saudi Arabia. This is very important for us, for the stability of our grid, and for exporting any excess electricity, especially at daytime, summertime, when we have peaks of renewable energy. Let me stop the presentation because I don't like the way it looks. So moving towards oil, gas, and oil shale. We're not just talking about electricity and renewable energy. In terms of exploration and working in the oil and gas fields, Jordan is working on intensifying the efforts in Hamza and Risha fields. And our plan for this year is to almost double what we are getting today from the Risha field. Still, even if we double the amount of gas that is coming out of the Risha field today, we're on daily basis we're getting 10 million cubic foot of gas. Even if we double it, that will not satisfy 5% of the demand in Jordan. But something nice also we're trying to do is to make industries go more and more to gas and the usage of gas instead of heavy fuel oil and LPG. This is very good for the environment. This is very good for the industries. It will reduce the energy cost of both for them by 25 to 55% of their cost. We have also announced 6 new areas for exploration. We welcome all interested international corporations who are interested in exploring these areas to express their interests. These are the Sarhan, Dead Sea, Northern Highlands, Azraq, Jafar, and the West Safawi. In terms of oil shale, probably I've talked about this many times. We have 4 companies who are now interested in oil shale. retorting projects. One of them is now in the financing stage. Their project aims to produce 25,000 barrels per day of refined products, and we do hope that they get the finance in order for us to start production. With regards to crude oil imports and in close cooperation with our Iraqi counterparts, and as I said, I came back yesterday from Iraq, and we've been talking about the oil pipeline to export Iraqi oil from Aqaba. And this is a key project for us. Not only the Iraqis will be exporting the oil from Aqaba, but we will also be able to take our demand on oil, all the amounts through that pipeline. The capacity of the pipeline will be approximately 1 million barrels per day. Our needs are